Hello, this is Victor. I hope this is working. And today I'm trying to use a new setup. So I hope this will improve what we see here. I'm just checking just one moment, checking that everything is working well, just to see everything goes as expected, and I can see the chat and so on. And we can have. So I changed the setup a little bit. I'm trying with a different computer. I hope it's working. And now I'm trying to find myself. Let's see if this is working. Okay. Let's see if I find myself. Just 1 minute. I'm going to check here. It seems that it should be working. Here I have the chat. And I have one viewer technically. Excellent connection. Okay, just let me look. Okay, here I'm not appearing. Okay. This is not going to work. Cannot find my video in here. Let me see if I can find like that. Here I am. Yeah, it says recap. It should not say that. Okay, since that is working, I'm going to remove myself from the camera because I'm not the main, and I hope you can see today. I will disconnect this camera and you should be able now to see. Let me see. Okay, it's frozen. Okay. Okay, let's see if it's working today. I hope it's not freezing. And I hope it's working well. So I have this here. I can see as well if there is any message in the chat. Let me see. I will put this in this position. Okay. Okay. It seems that it will work. I have some delays. As I said, I'm trying to find an accommodation. So we are going to be painting some of these guys. Okay. I'm going to keep painting the these guys from the Dogs of War that are so let me know if the resolution is good. If now it's have improved a little bit. And here the idea is to just paint, chat, and share with you some of the techniques that I may be using when I'm painting, so you can see live I think it's a way to see live how I'm painting and as well have a nice chat and a conversation. I'm using this time a different platform. We are going to use now. I'm going to apply some contour paints. Okay, hi, nice evening or nice afternoon, Essex. Thanks a lot for joining. Um, Glad to see you again, and I hope now it's better. I don't think here I can put music on this, and I hope the image is arriving nicely to you. So let me know how is this. I changed platform tonight. I just wanted to check, and I don't know if here I can put music or not. Let me see if I can put music. I don't think I can put music here. I think it's something I need to check for the next time. No, I don't think I can put. Okay, I can put music. Okay, I will check for the next time if I can put music or not. So it's a camera I use normally for the tutorials, but I find a way to connect it directly to the computer so I can share much easily what I'm doing. Uh, I bought a special device to connect the camera to the computer. Now I'm concerned because I have to use another computer that have a little bit less, it's less powerful. I'm just concerned if it's going to do lagging or not because it's not the best computer. So, but I hope the image arrives nicely and you can see what I'm doing much better than in the other webcam. This is my Handycam. This is the Handycam I use normally for the tutorials. It's a Sony camera, video Sony camera that so far I'm very happy how it's working. Okay, and I think it gives quite a nice image. Thanks a lot. So I'm glad that it arrived nicely. The only thing I have to use a different platform. I cannot use Restream that I was using. I have to use the OBS, and in the other computer it's not working. I don't know why. So I have to use my old computer. But I think it should work well. I'm just so as you can see, I'm still working on these Dogs of War on the Miragliano. I think it's Miragliano Marksman. I'll call. These are still on. I'm painting them because I have it in my collection and I want to have all the Dogs of War they have painted. I'm not expecting to play with them in the next time, but I guess is the boys arriving correctly as well. The boy should arrive as well as the other times, but I just want to be sure. Okay, and just and I will share what I have been. This week I've been very busy assembling because I went to Spain and there I had a deal to have all the mortal realms. So I received the 80 mortal realms numbers at once. So I'm trying to assemble all the mortal realms miniatures. And this is a lot of miniatures to assemble. This will help me to expand my the two armies that I'm really collecting in Age of Sigmar, that are Ninehound and Stormcast Eternals. So in Age of Sigmar, I have mainly three armies. I have Khorne. Oh, I have Skaven as well, but Skaven is because of legacy from fantasy. But we'll say my main army is Stormcast Eternals. So we'll share you how I'm glad that everything is working well. Let me show what I have here, what I have painted. So this is the first guy. Okay, they finalize. I'm not doing anything super fancy. I'm just going for a nice, we'll say, nice tabletop. There's another. These two miniatures, I think, are the same. They are not the same, are very similar. I like more how the second guy looks like. Okay. And then I have Miraglano itself painted here. Okay, you have them all. So I hope you can see them nicely. Yeah, it's a lot to build. I have built some. I started with the terrain because I think I will focus first maybe on the terrain to have them painted. So because then I have a full garden of Moor. Right? I have the you have the like the all set, because the one was the Sigmarid mausoleum was 2 times the Garden of Moor. So it's just then I have you have some statues of Sigmar and some Sigmarid what you call this ruins. You have the all the terrain from Warcry. So we'll have 2 times the terrain of Warcry at the end. So a lot of terrain coming on. And then I need to see what I do with the Celestian Prime and the Lady Oleander, because I already had that miniatures. So I'm thinking maybe to do a giveaway for them, because I don't want to paint another another Celestian Prime. Lady Oleander, I like it a lot, but not to have to. One maybe from the Death faction is my favorite miniature, the Lady Oleander. And then with the fascicles, it came the Mortis engine, but you can also do the vampire thing, the vampire coven, and I'm thinking to do more the vampire coven than the Mortis engine. It's something that I'm still wondering. Although for the fascicles, because I was thinking to play the different battles of the fascicles with my kids to introduce them to the game. I think the Mortal Realms, I make a look on them, and they are, yeah, you are right, Essex. The let me put here because I can see then the Garden of Moor it's maybe my favorite terrain from fantasy. I really love it. I bought when it was released in fantasy because I find it super nice, super interesting, and I use it for 40k and for fantasy in that time. So I was using it for both. I think it's a very nice kit, and in 40k it's not a problem, right? You can have a like a gothic cemetery, no? I mean, maybe it's a little bit too Sigmar sometimes, but okay. think it's not completely out of place. It was not Sigmar in reality. The Garden of Moor was more Empire. So, and the Empire symbolism sometimes is used in different ways in the Warhammer 40,000. So I like it a lot, that kit, is what I want to say. So I'm glad to have a second kit because I will paint it on the same colors, and I'm maybe do some tutorials on painting terrain. So and then yeah, and also the Warcry terrain is quite nice, right? It's very functional and it's nice for this type of what's called this skirmish games, right? Like Warcry and so on. So I'm not disappointed to have a second set of Warcry. I think it's really nice. So and they also have I was checking the boards. The boards that they give in Modern Realms, they are not that bad, and they are. I think the Modern Realms were very well designed for new people to introduce them to the hobby because they really show you how to paint little by little. If you follow the instructions they give every week, you can. It's not too much work, and you can have two painted armies at the end, right? And also learn how to play. So I think was quite nicely designed, especially for newcomers. Ah, yeah, this can be very nice. The other thing I had from the past, let me show you. In the past Games Workshop, where did I put them? I lose them again. Here, maybe it's here. I have tombstones that were released in the past by Games Workshop to put them on the undead bases. They were made of metal, so here I have. Yeah, they have all out of the blister. I'll show you. I use them on Lady Oleander's, so you can see here. This is not for Games Workshop. This is from another company. They were doing this type of tombstones. Maybe the cross is too gothic, but the other ones can be used. I had more, but I lost them again. And Games Workshop in the past released a blister of this type of tombstones as well. Yeah, Mortal Realms was, as I say, was very well designed. I was just looking on from the top. They start with very small battles, just to show you the mechanics, just 4 miniatures, something like that. Or just was at the beginning. It was 10 miniatures from the death, and 3 miniatures for the Stormcast, just to show the mechanics, how to move, how to hit, and then they start making the games more complex, and they show you how to do first priming, and they give you the Corax White, and during the first, and then you give you the Retributor armor to prime with Retributor armor. The first miniatures are in blue plastic and in golden plastic, so you can distinguish them very well on the battlefield, and then show you just to paint them in one color at the beginning, just to prime the Ghost in white and the Stormcast in gold, so you can distinguish them very easily on the battlefield. So I think it's and then they still show, then they give you a couple of color molds more, and then you can use more. You can use these colors to give a little bit of more complexity to the paint job. I think was very well done. So I was looking at this, and it's quite well designed. Also as a painting guide, as a hobby guide on overall, right? To have a very nice holistic view of the hobby, and I think it's pretty interesting for new people. I think it's well designed. Try to not overwhelm the people, because a lot of time what we do when we introducing this hobby, you can get overwhelmed very easily because you want to buy the army and have the army painted at once, right? And I think this is not the right way to start in the hobby, because it can be very overwhelming for some people. I think the right way is to start small and start with another colleague that is starting with you, or a colleague that is guiding you, and you start playing very little, right? And then I remember my first games, we bought the second edition 40K, and we were just playing with the miniatures in that set. And then we were buying a blister and adding a unit and so on. So, but was very basic our first games, and we did a lot of proxying, of course. So, but I think it's the best way to get introduced to here. I need this win is awful. I need to do a second layer on this banner. Now it's better. This banner is from this miniature was bought in second hand, so the banner was completely, the pull of the banner was completely broken. So I had to, I glued a banner from I think this was from the Empire Cavalry. Yeah. Yeah, it's to start. If you can have a colleague and you start with another colleague that you start from zero, I think is a very nice way, because then you within two people you are exploring the game, right? Or one, two, three, four people. But if you can have more than one person starting with you at the same time, is a very nice way. If you start with another person that is a veteran, the best that this person is guiding you and trying to show you how to start slowly in the hobby and start with a very small games, right? Because you try to play directly from the beginning. 2,000 point games can be overwhelming, right? In Age of Sigmar, in the best is to start with very small games, and I think this is one of the good things of the Crusade in 40,000. But I think they have even to, if you are the first time that you are playing, you have to reduce the number of optional rules. You have to really start very small on rules with the basic ones and start adding complexity when you start getting familiar with the rules. And then you have to assume that you will forget rules each game that you play. But I think this is the best way to start on the hobby. And I'm going out of camera. Let me see if I move the camera a little bit up. Since I'm using the handle, I'm going out of camera much easily now. This is the handle also that it's coming in the Mortal Realms. This is the old one. And I'm comparing them both. I like more the new one, to be fair. Regular Flay Shade. I like to use this on gold as well. The gold that I use here is Gehenna's gold to give more or it's more orangey gold. Yeah, the washes are one of the best things from Games Workshop lineup. I'm going to apply it as well on the brass because this is one I wanted to look more than gold. I imagine that it more like a brass, like the old armors. So I like to make this mixture of brass and iron type of armor. Maybe it is steel. Although the brass and the gold in some cases was very difficult to distinguish in the past. So in the past and in the future, you have to check the hardness. Yeah, I think this is the best way, right? You start with one, the other. So you start with these fascicles, or you start with a starter set. You split the starter set, and then you start playing. I guess the best is to start playing the games that are coming in the starter set. They are also designed for people to get introduced to the hobby, right? They are small games. I think the people we try to play big very fast sometimes, and this can be a little of a mistake. Or what the hands on the other one. So some of these, if you see strange parts on this close Bowman, is because I had to change some parts because they came a little bit damaged. Some clothes were missing, so I had to find a way to repair them to make them at least functional, complete. Because I hate to throw away miniatures. So I like to find a way to recover them and to repair them, especially these old guys that are very difficult to find. And I'm painting them more as a collectionist than really as a for gaming in that case. I don't know this Pro Aquil paints. Should move maybe a little bit more out of Games Workshop type of paints. You know, when you are painting for a long time, sometimes you feel attached to some type of paints, and it's difficult to move away, right? Because you really know how these paints are working. And it's not that you don't want to experiment, but you get so familiar that you gravitate back to the paints that you feel more familiar to. But I should start trying different type of paints. Let me do here a test because I want to keep some of the shirts in more bone color. We'll try skeleton horde. As you can see, I'm changing a lot from one minute to another because when I'm applying contrast paints or washes, I like maybe I apply two in a row, but I like to wait a little bit that they dry before painting again on this miniature, because it's very easily to, they are very fluid, and it's very easily that you mess up, especially if you paint two adjacent parts. Okay, so now that I'm painting this sleeve of the shirt, you don't want to paint the arm or next or the hand, because it's very easily that the two paints will mix in where they touch each other. So the best for me is to wait that it dries before doing any additional painting. This way, sometimes to avoid mistakes, unless I know that I'm not going to go next to the previous painting. When I'm applying contrast or washes, I change miniature, so I give time for it to dry. This one is one that I had to repair, as you can see. I had to put a plastic crossbow and this type of bolt, because I was missing a crossbow and there was no way to adapt in a different way. But at the end, I'm quite happy how it looks like. I'm not. Sure, if you know the YouTuber, the Pickle Jar, I will look for it. I don't know him. I'm not following him. So, but I will look for him. So to check this type of paint, I will check. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. I'm trying to look for new YouTubers and so on, but there is so many things, and I'm only having YouTube while I'm painting, right? I only put a hobby YouTube while I'm painting, uh, and yeah, and I yeah, and sometimes I gravitate to the same YouTubers because you feel familiar with what they say. But yeah, if you are sharing this one, I will check. I will check this YouTuber. Sometimes you have to look for new things. Thanks for sharing. Okay, here I will apply the same. And as I have a darker color, this lacquer flesh, I will have a little bit more darker finishing, but I'm not. So they can have. My focus is to have nicely the gold and the red the same. The other parts can be less uniform between the guys. This is another one that I had to put the bow in a different position because this bow was from was from the Lost Legend of Pirazzo. Okay, but you know the Lost Legend of Pirazzo have a mix unit. The you put crossbow and pikeman mix. So the first line is have crossbows, and the lines at the back have. But it seems that the bows are not exactly the same, so they were not going from one hand to the other. So I had to put it in a different position, and then I did this type of creative solution. Is handling at this moment the bow like that. Sometimes you have to find different ways. One I will put about this thing. I'm really enjoying the contrast paints, as you can see. I've been using a lot the washes as well, since they were launched by Games Workshop long time ago. And when they launched the contrast paints, was quite natural for me to start using them. Because at the end, it's more or less it's complementing my technique with the washes. Yeah, yeah. I had to find creative solutions to complete these miniatures. These were the damaged ones. These ones are they were complete. So this one I also like a lot. I'm not painting this guy because I'm using it for some weekly tutorials, so I keep it aside for the tutorials. And I think after these guys, maybe it will be. I want to paint the racks, and I already primed and assembled. These are from the dungeon ball, so the primer was not that good, but this will be the next guys to paint. Okay, so the racks from the Dark Elder. I never finish expanding my armies. I always like to add one unit here and there from time to time. Maybe I'm on Doctor of War. I was a couple of years without any expansion of the armies, and now this year you have seen I did I expanded it a little bit. I use them the contrast paints in both ways as a contrast, I use it sometimes as a wash and sometimes as a glaze. So, but I was working in. I always painted a lot. My technique was always base color and wash, and then from there start blending and doing the highlights. So this is why I find the contrast a very um, a way to paint paints that are matching very nicely with my way of painting. Okay, maybe other painters they don't find it that useful. I think it's a very personal way. So we have different ways to paint depending from painter to painter. The Goblin Blue Ball team, and they have released, or they will release, not release, they have announced, so they will release new goblins in Forge Ball, I think, and they were looking nice. Dungeon Ball, I still have to try it with my kids. Let's see if soon I can make a game and see how this works. But I'm very happy with the kit. It's a little bit expensive, and as I said, I think they missed the opportunity to put a couple of wizards. It would be fun to have dedicated wizards for Blue Ball. So you can release two wizards with the Dungeon Ball, and then later on you can release these wizards in a pack for Blue Ball, right? Or even for Age of Sigmar and Blue Ball. Or for Blue Ball and later on for the old wall when it's released. But anyway, I like Dungeon Ball. I think it's a nice kit. Yeah, I think it's okay. And this was, yeah. You have to consider that Dungeon Ball is almost like a new game, right? The advantage is that you will know the core rules if you play Blue Ball. How move, how block, how pass, and all these type of things are the same. There are some limitations and some tweaks here and there because you are playing in a dungeon, and the walls you can bounce, so the ball can bounce against the wall. The people can be pushed against the wall, and then you can um, yeah, if it's not falling down, there is more options to make it fall down because it's bouncing against the wall and so on. But yeah, but the core rules are more or less the same. The only thing is that as the team is assembled in a different way, and yeah, the teams are completely different from Blue Ball to Dungeon Ball and so on. It's like in other ways like a different game, right? You cannot. I don't know. I did not try, but I don't think it's designed to put the standard Blue Ball teams into the Dungeon Ball. And I'm curious now to see what new expansions they will do for Blue Ball. I would love to see a new Amazon team. I think it will be quite successful. And as they have released Korn and Nurgle, I'm wondering how will be Thench and Slaanesh in Blue Ball. Yeah, a new vampire team can be also interesting. And if they do a vampire team, they can mix vampire males and females in the team. And I'm wondering if they will do only vampires and trolls or they will put more type of players. Maybe they can put two types of vampires. Here, see, there's need to clean up a little bit. If I keep doing that and keep pulling paint from the no, it's more or less clean when I put the black, why she will not be visible. Yeah, from the old teams, it's missing the vampire, the Amazons, and the Chaos Dwarfs. Chaos Dwarf never have been my cup of tea. I don't like the hats on the Chaos Dwarfs. But the ones from Forge World, I like it. So I'm wondering what they will do with the Chaos Dwarfs if they release in Blood Bowl. Yeah, yeah, I'm glad that they are supporting it. I think they are doing no. Yeah, I hope they can sustain all this the support to all these games. But I think the community also is supporting more of these games today. There is, I mean, there is much. The community is much bigger than used to be, so you can have more diversity of games. And the miniature games are becoming more and more popular. What I'm happy to see as well. So I think Blue Ball have been always this game that have a. Oh, you love it? No, there is a lot of people that love it. The Blue Ball. Yeah, Squeak team will be very fun. Squeak, with some goblins. Maybe they create a Squeak that without hands, right? But with jaws, so they will. Right, they can put the rule that they can punch the ball. Okay. Now I'm going to use the metal I'm using for. So I'm using normally very light silver for the chainmail and the helmet, and then I'm using lead belcher for the small metallic parts. So it seems that no, yeah, there are still some delays, but since Games Workshop is more, it's recovering the rhythm. Also, we will never know what happened with Warhammer Quest with the Curse City. I think the Curse City, yeah, was thought to have some expansions last year, but they had for some reason they had to delay all the Curse City 1 year. Maybe they were not able to sustain so many things at the same time, or they had a problem with the Curse City core set, and they had to cancel or not cancel, delay all the support to Warhammer Quest. I don't know. I guess they had a problem with the Curse City last year, and they took the decision to cancel or to delay the support for 1 year. So I'm wondering what we are going to see this year from Curse City. Not yet. They announced that they will release the Curse City this year. So I'm wondering it's going to be because I have not seen and more news on the community, on the Warhammer community yet. I'm guessing March we're going to see Curse City or in Feb. Because the next will be, I think that the next thing will be Tau or Elder against Chaos. So there will be some 40k things beginning of Feb. Should be no, yeah, I don't know. And they have to release the battle tomes of the Fire Slayers and the Deep King, the the Idoneth, because they have released the box, so they will release normally battle tomes after the box. So I'm expecting they will relaunch, and they really say that they will relaunch. They will release again Curse City and the first expansion for Curse City. So Curse City was supposed to be like Blackstone Fortress, right? If you invest so much on a starter set, I already have Curse City. I was, but I did not have time to paint it. I already have Curse City, but I did not have time to paint it. I even, yeah, but I have them well organized. I bought the foam to put them there. But it's some of the, maybe I will, once they will launch Curse City, something that I should start doing tutorials of how to paint them. So I did not dedicate too much time to Curse City yet because I wanted to finalize first the campaign I was doing on the Blackstone Fortress. But I like the mechanics of this game. So I enjoyed a lot Blackstone Fortress. I used to play it. I played solo and I played with other players. I have the feeling Warhammer Quest is still it's a collaborative game, but it's funnier or maybe or funny or you take more from the game if you play with other players because then you can have a little bit of competitive, between the different players to see who is finding the objects, and then you have your secret agenda and so on. So at least in Western Fortress. So this is not happening when you play alone, of course. You cannot keep secrets from yourself. But anyway, I find that it plays quite nicely. Now I was thinking to do the Amble campaign, but I also want to paint the Curse City miniatures. And in the Curse City, you have a good starting point for a vampire army. But I'm thinking more to use them as allies. So to use them as allies for the Night Hound. I'm not planning to go hard on a vampire army. Yeah, Curse City is a nice game. And I think the collaborative game are also nice to play with kids, right? Because you don't need it's if you don't have a way to introduce people because you don't compete against these people. You collaborate with the new players. But I'm glad that Games Workshop is releasing against the Core City. I think it's a great game, and the people should have the opportunity to have access to this game. We will never know what happened with that. I don't think we will ever know what happened. Looks like a top secret file. What happened with Core City last year? Okay. You know, I was a little bit silent because I was focused on the eyes. It's difficult to paint the eyes when you have a crossbow in front of the face. The teeth. I will paint it as a tongue. Normally don't paint, only paint the top teeth and always the bottom as a tongue. Use don't use red for the tongue. Use a dark pink color. Yeah, yeah. I think you told me before that you were playing with the family Zombicide. And how long is a game of Zombicide? I was thinking about that. And at the end, I did not did the step to go to Zombicide, but I think in the same direction as you. So go, no. Yeah. This eye is coming a pain in the neck. No, this is why you do the eyes first because normally sometimes you're dirtying the surroundings, like happened here. So now I'm going to clean up. And you're turning the eye to the small size again. Trying to fight here with this, with the light position. Let me see if I can do like that. Okay. Okay, so 130 to 90 minutes per mission. It's good. Because the problem I find on Blackstone Fortress, yeah, that the expeditions are quite long. You can stop in the middle of the expeditions, but the expeditions are mainly 2-3 hours or more. Expeditions can be very long. and this can take too much. This can be too long for my kids. This way I end up playing myself alone. Adding for the skin. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the gold is mainly what I did so far is I applied Gehenna's gold. This one. It's a very nice gold, a little bit orangey, but I really like it. And then I do a wash with Raglan Flay Shade, not Seraphim Sepia, not this one, Raglan Flay Shade. And then later on, I will highlight it a little bit with Auric Armor Gold. So to reach the tone that you have seen here. So in the past, I was highlighting the gold with Seraphim Sepia, shading the gold with Seraphim Sepia, and it's better to do it um, with Raglan Flay Shade. It's making the gold richer. This is adding a reddish tone that adds a lot to the gold. Now we are highlighting the skin of the face. I'm using Kislev Flash. And then for the shades, I'm using Death Club Brown. And the color I use for the tongue and the bottom lip is Boogman's Glow. I'm using the Death Club Brown to get some shade. And I'm going to take no Runer's Height to do the eyebrow. And the other eyebrow will be a pain to do. Okay, this is what the face looks like now. Thank you, Essex. Now we are going to put a little bit of white too. This is why some people it's painting the face before assembling it So when you have the situation that you have things in front of the face, it's quite annoying. So a lot of people, in that minute, it's impossible because the head is assembled together to one piece with the body. But a lot of the painters, if they can't, if the method allows them to do it, they prefer to paint the the face without gluing to the body. I need to have better to have better access to the face. Okay, let's do the red. The red, I need to check how it's there. Yeah, the Mephisto red is a little bit too dry. Need to put a little bit of Mephisto red. So I'm very happy that the configuration is working, the new configuration, so I can use my Sony camera to also do the streaming, because then I can improve a lot. Here we have the spam of the day. So because then I can share better quality on what I'm doing. I think this has been a quite nice improvement for the live show. That I hope I can keep it. What I'm doing is I'm highlighting with Mephisto red together with Corn red. And then I will use Wild Rider red to highlight the red. Okay. I want to hide Wild Rider red on my palette. This is the reason why I need Corn red. You want to soften the transitions. Anyway, once it dries, it goes darker, the red. Yeah, wait, I will look for it. Yeah, we'll look for it. I really like a lot the new orc miniatures. I'm thinking to do another live sharing the community paint jobs. So maybe next week I will do something different and I will share, or maybe on Friday night I will do the community and then Saturday the painting. But I want to do one streaming on the about the community Facebook group soon. Now there have been some nice things there, so it's time to share them in the channel. And maybe invite another more people so they can also comment online with me. I used to do this in the past, but I used to use a lot the Hangout from Google, and I was a little bit. It was very easily, and was a little bit disappointed when it finished. Okay, so yeah, then it's a personalized monitor. Should be nice. I think the orcs is the best army if you want to do crazy things and personalize. Orcs, I think also chaos give a lot of opportunities. In the past, there was more personalization than today. I have the feeling. In the past, when you were looking the army books, there were more conversions than what we can see today on the displays. You can like it more or less, but I think there were much conversions in the past on the army books and on the codexes. When I say the past, I mean early 2000s. And I think the reason was because there were a lot of miniatures a lot of profiles without miniatures in the past. So they were trying to share the people how to do conversions when the miniature was not existing. Today, this is not happening anymore because if the profile does not have a miniature, they archive that profile. So now they want to have that they want to ensure that each profile have their own miniature. I need to check how it works. I need to invest. Yeah, I have a Discord and I need to check how this is working. I connect live with another channel. I wasn't hosting the conversation by Discord, but I still not have full control on the Discord. So I need to check how then you link the Discord streaming into the YouTube channel. Today I'm using OBS. So I need to check how this works. To be fair, I've been a little bit lazy with all the IT things. When I have some free time, I like to dedicate it to the hobby, to paint miniatures or assembling or something like that. So then I always am a little bit more lazy to start investigating how all these things work. But I think I will look for that. How to stream from Discord, or how to use Discord for streaming. I also want to keep I did not want it to start Twitch because I have a lot of things in YouTube. Okay, so OBS. I was thinking this like that, but I need to check how it works. The problem is the computer I normally use does not allow me is the computer is my working computer and does not allow me to install OBS. It's forbidden in the computer that I'm using most of the time. So I need to check now in this computer that I'm using today how to do this core. And it's not a super powerful laptop. So I'm concerned if I start demanding too much to the computer, then I can start having lagging and problems and so this is the thing I have to be careful. In the past I tried to stream directly using OBS to stream my games on Warhammer Underworlds. The computer had problems to keep Warhammer Underworlds and the OBS running at the same time and also on top streaming, right? So it was lagging a lot and the image was not going well through the streaming. It was stopping and there was a lot of lagging. So but really I will investigate how to have a lot more people connected. Yeah, this is the yeah, and this is the point. You should at the end we don't our hobby time, our free time we have is limited, right? So we spend it where we like to do at the end. You have enough obligations at the job to create you even more obligations in the hobby time. Although sometimes we create some it's a balance, right? What you prefer to do and what at the end is just a hobby that you have to keep in mind that we do it for enjoyment, not for obligation. In my case, at least, and I guess in your case as well. It's different if it's your main source of money. Then you have to be more disciplined. But it's not my case. I'm doing this because I like to share what I'm doing. And I like to have these conversations. After red, done. The gold on the knee protection, I need to put some more shade. To insist to make this part darker. Well, this part. Let's work on the shirt. So to do this type of color, remember we use skeleton horde. That meter was used on top of Rackard Phrase. It was the color was a little bit greenish. Now I'm highlighting using Rackard Flash and Fluid One Flash, depending if I want to do more a greenish or yellowish finishing. Yeah, me too. I like a lot sharing and chatting with other people or listening as well other channels while I'm painting. Okay, let me just using no white, a little bit more of white. Using Korak white to be fair, this one because it's a little bit more greenish. And I think I will do this white, the t-shirt, and I will start going to bed. Quite late as well. So I will do this. And I will keep quite of the deep brown sepia shades because I think it will give the sensation that it's not that clean. Also have the will look more like natural wool, but you will need to do some transitions in some places. If not, it's going to be too. So I will keep it brown, but I need to soften in some places the transitions. I'm using XV88 mixed with Fade One Place to do that. So the skeleton horde for me it's like applying Screaming Skull and Seraphim Sepia in once. Here a little bit. Now let's do the other arm. Like that. And we have advanced quite on this guy, so thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I try to. I'm looking normally for techniques that does not consume excessive time. Okay, and they look good on the table. This is my main objective. Okay, of course, these are not techniques to win a painting contest, but it's not what I'm looking for, especially when you paint big units of infantry or a lot of armies, right? you want a paint style that allows you to finish the work in a, we'll say not short, but not long period of time, right? Here we go. Now we are missing on this method to the gold and the dark browns on the browns, and almost will be ready for finishing. But I think in this today was, I'm quite happy because I was able to share in camera how I do the faces, how I apply the contrast, and how highlighting this white cream and as well the red. Put a little bit of, no, mix it. Okay. Thanks a lot. I'm glad that it's looking good now. Yeah, I know that it's not the one of the most fancy miniatures to share on camera, but I try to keep working. For next week, I'm expecting that I will be painting the racks from the Dark Elder because my expectation is to finalize all these crossbowmen uh, this week. Okay, so let me just put back my camera and show my face a little bit. So here we are. So yeah, sharing here. No, I've been working mainly on this miniature. We also have here the banner. This one I have to put more in that place. It's difficult with the mirror effect. Here we have the paint jobs. We have work today. I like more how the OBS was working today. I'm very happy that was coming. I think quite smooth uh, on the streaming, and that's all for today. So I hope you have enjoyed this this live today, this streaming. I hope you like it. Essex, thanks a lot for joining again. I'm very glad that you were able to make it and you were able to be here in the chat. I always like to have someone chatting with me and making questions or conversation. It's very appreciated. And yeah, and as usual, yeah, thanks a lot for watching and see you again in the next time. Bye.